prayers to the Walker family. You've been deeply wounded by this tragedy. Our community is deeply wounded. People all across the city of New York are deeply wounded.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that we can do to take away all of the pain that you might experience. But in order for us to bring about some measure of closure, some measure of comfort, we have to do all that we can to make sure that justice prevails for Shem Walker.
Yeah.
And we're up against an institution, the NYPD, that has proven time and time again that their primary interest is in making sure that they protect their own.
Right.
And unfortunately, they got a whole lot of experience in this area. Bell, Diallo, Dorismond, Stansberry, Omar Edwards. They got a whole lot of experience in this area. And as soon as the gun goes off, the NYPD spin machine kicks into high gear.
Right.
Story after story after story. Reverend Sharpton, they got more stories than Harry Potter.
Right.
And none of their stories make any sense. They started out by saying that he stumbled onto a drug sting. How did he stumble onto anything on your own property?
Right.
He stumbled onto that officer, the officer stumbled onto him.
Right.
And if the officer and the NYPD weren't trespassing, Shem Walker would be alive today. As I told you, it said that Shem Walker came out of his mother's house and started pummeling the officer. No history of violence. No evidence to suggest that that type of assault took place.
Right.
They're just counting on folk to believe that all black men are inherently violent.
Right. Yeah.
Not even in the casket and the character assassination has started.
Right.
Crow may be dead, but his nieces and nephews are alive. And a few of them are alive at once in these houses. Lastly, Councilwoman James, didn't they say that the officer couldn't hear Mr. Walker ask him to leave the property because he was wearing an earphone and the volume was too high? Now they just think that we just ignorant Negroes.
Right.
That makes no sense. They got more holes in it than a golf course. When you think about it, the officer was supposed to be under deep cover.
Right.
Monitoring a drug sting. But we're expected to believe that he was sitting out on a front stoop in plain view looking like a Secret Service agent.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Right.
And as Councilwoman James said, even if you want to give some credence to the notion that he was wearing an earpiece and the volume was too high, the only person who can make that representation is the shooter himself.
Right.
And the law says that the NYPD is prohibited from talking to the shooter while there's a pending criminal investigation. And they maintain to us, as the DA said the other day, Rubenstein, that the NYPD hasn't talked to the shooter. They've complied with the law. So essentially, they're just making stuff up. Because there's no way for them to know whether the volume was too high. And how can you be distracted and not hear when he's standing a few feet away from you? And so we're going to do everything that we have to do to bring about justice. We're going to agitate. We're going to legislate. Litigation, criminal investigation. We will not rest, Walker family, until justice prevails.
Hakeem Jeffries. Security, y'all make another aisle over here and here. These people have to stand up in the back. We got an overflow crowd. Y'all need to help me buy a new house of justice. We need more than 400 seats. Now, as we bring on Bill de Blasio, I also, Reverend Assemblyman Kamara is joining us.